Facts about being in an interracial relationship or marriage that nobody is going to tell you but me. So listen up. Your white partner is going to experience a decline in their white privilege, and it is going to cause a crash out like you have never seen.
Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about a very important and sensitive topic, which is interracial relationships. Before we get started, I want to welcome all our new viewers to the channel. Thank you for joining us. If you're new here, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. We appreciate your support. Now, let's talk about today's topic. Interracial relationships can be beautiful and fulfilling, but can also come with their own set of challenges and complexities. As we explore this topic, I want to encourage all of you to keep an open mind. This is just my take from the outside looking in, because I'm not in an interracial relationship myself. And I want to hear your thoughts and perspectives. So I'm going to play the video and I'm going to give you my 2 cents on the other side. Let's dive in.
Facts about being in an interracial relationship or marriage that nobody is going to tell you but me. So listen up. Your white partner is going to experience a decline in their white privilege, and it is going to cause a crash out like you have never seen. And here's the thing, they don't even tell the white people this. They get blindsided by it too. And the way that it works is wild. Speaking from my experience and how it went, you meet a guy, and on either side, it can be fetish, lust, like, love, whatever. Then they take you around their white friends. And now, Black women, what you need to know is a group of not racist white men, especially young white men, are always going to be cool. They're always going to think you're hot, you're cool, be totally down with however you're representing yourself and whatever. Because white men in their white privilege have the freedom to think however they want to think. It's when the company gets mixed that things start to get hinky. And by mixed company, I mean those same white guys plus their white girlfriends and wives, white family, white coworkers, white friends. Then the dance starts because you have people who are on different levels of privilege, class, and power. And they're looking at you and they're trying to place you, and it better not be above them. So now you, as the Black girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or whatever, wife, have to do a dance. You have to position yourself between stereotype of what everybody wants you to be so that they can be comfortable in their white superiority delusion of this is what a Black person is and that's what I need to see to know that I'm here. But you also have to be assimilated enough into white culture that you're not deemed a threat, that they can relate to you, they understand you, they see that you are parroting certain norms and things that they know that they can relax a little bit. So it's a constant dance because do not walk into a room full of insecure white people and be all that and a bag of chips. Oh, you in danger, girl. Because if you walk in there and you're not playing their little game that makes them feel good about themselves, if you walk in there and you are intellectual, you have poise, class, a great job, you're well educated, style, if you're not afraid of them, if you're not seeking their approval, if you are unbothered, they are not gonna like that. And they're gonna start looking at your white partner like, how dare you bring that here? And in order to keep their community of white delusion thriving, they have to remove any perceived threats, actual threats, anything that is not vibing in that collective understanding of who they deem themselves to be. And so that decline, that dismissal from white privilege is going to hit your white partner hard. They are going to get social backlash, stop being invited to things. Their family is going to start haranguing them about keeping you in line. Their buddies are not going to come over because their wives don't like you. There's going to be a lot of things that happen. And not only will they possibly have a decline in their social status, their white privilege, but their upward mobility within white privilege can be chopped off, especially if it's at work. If they have a boss or a boss's spouse that feels some kind of way, all of a sudden promotion opportunities are not there for them. You are literally by showing up as your authentic self, by being real, by not taking any flack, or even if you are so token and so playing the game, but that other white person who has a little bit more power than your partner is is threatened or is insecure, there's nothing that you can do to stop them from wanting to yank privilege away from your partner or your spouse. It is what it is. And something that I was shocked by was that there will be other interracial relationships around, other Black men, Negro women, and they're not going to help you. They are not your friend. They ain't looking out for you. Because if they stand up for you, if they speak up, if they try to mirror you, hell, if they even be nice to you or acknowledge your presence before anything else pops off, that could be seen as a threat. Because you have to remember, they're doing the same dance, right? They are also having to toggle between stereotype and non threatening assimilated token. So they are having to consciously or subconsciously protect the white privilege of their spouse and the standing of their spouse for their own self preservation. So, no, don't look to them. They ain't going to help you. And y'all ain't going to be friends. Y'all ain't going to be bonding about the nuances of being in an interracial relationship. That's not how this works. This is about isolation. So if you find yourself with a white person who you might like, love, see yourself building a life with, and they have not completely deconstructed from white supremacy, delusion, from their need to have access to white power, from capitalism, from sexism, from, I'm trying to think of what else, from any of these societal powers, and they have not deconstructed from that truly intentionally to the point where they've already cut out problematic friends and family, and they are no longer trying to navigate that world. If they haven't done all of that work, that shit will be done for them by the nature of them being with you, and your white partner will punish you for removing them from access to their white power. That's the dirty little secret that nobody talks about. When you are with an unhealed, unawakened white person who is just moving through life and thinks that their privilege is enough to allow them to date and do whatever they want and not be seen as a threat within their own society, if they have not done that.
Wow, that was a very powerful video. Now let's break down some of the key concepts that were discussed. I do not like to take it for granted because I think a particular section of my audience might not be familiar with some of the terms that this intelligent woman used in this video. So we're going to break them down so that we are all on the same page. So, what is white privilege? Simply put, it's the idea that white people have advantages and benefits in society that are not available to people of color. So, when I talk about people of color, I am talking about anyone that is not part of the Caucasian race. In addition, let's also talk about the dynamics of interracial relationships. When two people from different cultures come together, there can be a lot of learning and growth. But there can also be challenges and conflicts. One of the key concepts that we need to understand is power. In interracial relationships, power dynamics can be complex and nuanced. Let me put it this way. When a white person is in a relationship with a person of color, in this case, let's say that person is black, they may have more power and control due to their white privilege. So, in order to be accepted by their white partner's family and friends, a black person may feel like they have to fit into a certain mold or stereotype, as the woman in the video had explained. Another key concept that we need to understand is white superiority. This is the idea that white people are superior to people of color. So, when a black person is boldly themselves and refuses to fit into stereotypes or modes, it can be a threat to white superiority. Unfortunately, fellow black people who are dating white people may not be able to help or support them due to fear of losing their place in the white social structure. And to some degree, that is understandable because they obviously worked their way to the top. And by the top, I mean they probably worked their way to be in a place where they feel loved and accepted by white people. And another thing that stood out in the video for me was the fact that your white partner may resent you as a black person if you are in a relationship if they are unable to enjoy their white privilege due to being in a relationship with you. So how can interracial relationships work better? One of the things is for the white partner to deconstruct their white privilege and white superiority. But the question is, what is deconstruction on its own? So, deconstruction means to take apart and examine the underlying assumptions and biases that people have. So, I have got a few tips that might help that might help for deconstruction in case you are a white person that is watching this. So the first one is being able to educate yourself about white privilege and white superiority. Get all the information that you can and step outside the bias and try to understand what that is. And also listen to and amplify the voices of people of color. When you do that, you make their lives easier, and that makes your relationship way more easier. Another is to examine your own biases and assumptions that are deeply threaded in you as a human being. And also be willing to make mistakes and learn from them. And also communicate by asking your partner what might look and sound offensive around them. And when that is, and when those mistakes happen knowingly or unknowingly, it's important to apologize and ask how you can learn better and learn from the experience. Last but not the least is seek out diverse perspectives and experiences. It's important to seek out perspectives and experiences outside your Caucasian circle. But here's the thing, deconstruction is not just the responsibility of the white partner. Both partners need to be active participants in making the relationship work. There's a saying that goes, it takes two to tango. So both you, as the white person, and the person of color in the relationship need to be active participants in making your relationship work. And communication is one of the biggest things that can help, especially if you communicate with each other about what works and what does not work, especially if you're going to step into a marriage and kids are going to be involved, because the kids are going to be biracial, and how are you going to navigate that? So going back to the both partners being active participants in making the relationship work, this means that the black partner also needs to be willing to communicate their needs and boundaries, and the white partner needs to be willing to listen and learn. It's also very important to recognize that interracial relationships are not a solution to racism. Racism is a systemic issue, sorry, that requires a broader societal response. However, interracial relationships can be a powerful way to challenge and dismantle racism, particularly when both partners are committed to social justice. So, as the amazing activist and writer Angela Davis once said, the struggle is not just about winning freedom for ourselves, but winning freedom for all people. I love this quote because it reminds us that our individual struggles are connected to the broader struggle for social justice. So, what do you think is the key for making interracial relationships work? Is it deconstruction, education, or something entirely different? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down in the comment section below. From me, it is goodbye and see you in the next video.